Welcome back to Kuza 254. I'm still your host, Jay, and Doso Radido is still our guest today. We've not had enough just yet. I hope you're not tired of,
No.
trickling it down to us. We need it the most.
Okay.
So we were talking about the practicability of achieving your life purpose. Yeah? And then we have to talk about the time factor. And it's interesting because the other day I was having a conversation with a couple of friends, and someone within the group was saying time is a sin, because this is what he actually painted as a picture. He told us, imagine there was no time. If you want to be a footballer or a musician, you just do it until the day you get it. You don't put deadlines that by December I have to have achieved this. You just do it until the day you get it. If you're looking for a marriage partner, you look for them until you get them. Not the time see at you umefika 31, you're like, oh, I'm late. What do you think about that?
Well, I think there's a lot of wisdom in what that gentleman told you, because our life is actually locked up in time. There is no way you can pre-exist your time or exist beyond your time.
Yeah.
When your time is up, your life is up. So anything that wastes your time is actually wasting your life. That is why it's important to be time conscious. Okay. I may not agree with him on the issue of deadline. The reason why we put deadlines to projects is so that we can stay disciplined. Because without a deadline, people tend to be very indisciplined. And one of the resources we waste in life is time. So it's important to put a deadline so that we can push ourselves. But if you can push yourself without a deadline, then you are among the few very disciplined people. But for the rest of us average people, put a deadline and push people. Because when people are pushed, they work. When you leave them, they don't work. They just lazy around and just hang around, letting time pass.
I like how you put it. It's funny. For the rest of us average people, we need to work with the deadline.
Push them.
And then there's still talking about time. There's this thing you've covered in the book, and it talks about developing a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Well, a sense of urgency. Actually, the essence of a sense of urgency is putting a stop to what you think would be all the time in the world. We do not have all the time in the world. We only have specific time in our lifetime. So a sense of urgency is the push you place on yourself to be able to deliver within a given period of time. Because you realize that if you don't put urgency onto it, then your speed will be affected. The rate at which you produce will be affected. And your focus will also be affected. Let me give you an example of what I found shocking. I have met a number of people who are trying to achieve in 2018 goals they were supposed to achieve in 2015. So they're actually pursuing 2015 goals in 2018. So I asked them, what happened with your 2015? Where did it go? Why are you calling them 2015? Why are you pursuing in 2018 what was supposed to be achieved in 2015? And there's no difference in time between 2015 and 2018. There's no difference. The difference comes in when we are either disciplined or indisciplined. So you realize that if you don't put a deadline onto it, if you don't push yourself to say, I will not allow 2015 to go before I achieve this, then you're most likely going to pursue your 2015 goal in 2018. Now you see, if you pursue your 2015 goals in 2018, that means you're wasting your 2018, because your 2018 goal will probably be pursued in 2020.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. That is why it's important to put a deadline and work with a sense of urgency. Do it and aspire to finish it now. Let's be now people. Because the procrastination is a story of tomorrow people. Tomorrow people are not good people, because we are not sure that tomorrow will come. But now people are able to marshal their energies, stay their focus, and drive themselves towards achieving something. Now life is meaningless if you don't achieve. In fact, living a life that is not achieving anything, that's a meaningless life. It's just like dying. There is no difference between a living person who is not achieving and a dead person. So living people who are not doing anything should actually just be dead, because they're actually wasting resources. So it's good to move with a sense of urgency. Push yourself to achieve it now or before that deadline has passed.
Now, the reality of the matter is, as much as we have to develop a sense of urgency, there's a lot of pressure to it.
Yes.
And then, just in case you miss the deadline, there's an equal amount of frustration to it. How do you deal with that?
Well, most people don't like pressure, but I think pressure is a resource. Let me tell you why pressure is a resource. If you put yourself under pressure, there are two things that you will discover about you. One, you will discover your strengths, and two, you will discover your learning areas or your weaknesses. I don't like calling them weaknesses. I only like calling them learning areas, So that if you place yourself under demand or under pressure, you will be able to see who you really are. And once that is exposed, then you will be able to know, I can do this, or I need to strengthen myself in this area. So that people should not be afraid of pressure. Most of the people who have produced in life, and in fact some of the most celebrated icons in life, are people who allowed pressure to drive them. You see, like sports people like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt pushes himself, even before he comes to the track, he pushes himself during training to be able to do it, so that when we're getting onto the track, he will do it comfortably. So that when Usain Bolt is winning on the track, he does it so easy, and you will feel like, I can also do that. You know what? It is not true that you can also do that, unless you can do what he does during training. Yes. So let's take pressure as a resource. Let's not run away from pressure. Let's use pressure as fuel, as a force that can push us towards achieving much. Because people who push themselves, at the end of the day, achieve more than people who don't push themselves. Yes.
And there's this, I think it's a Chinese culture. They tend to think the more you work, the more the results. Is that really the case?
That is the case.
The more you work, the more the results.
Yes. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Wow, I like that.
Yes.
You've made it very clear.
And this is the best of doing it. If I give you one maize seed to plant, and I give somebody else a tin of maize seeds to plant, now tell me, between you and this person, who is likely to bring in more harvest?
Yeah, of course.
It is the same. It's the same principle. So the more seeds you plant, the more harvest you're likely to get. You plant your one seed, you're just expecting to get like a result equivalent to one seed.
Yeah.
So people should actually send themselves. I like this slang word, so the Swahili word they use, it says kujituma. I love that word. What will lazima wajitume? You have to just send yourself there. Push yourself, work more and more and more, and get the results and enjoy.
And earlier we were having